Hey everyone, it's Tim from timgagnon.com, and I have another tips and tricks video for you this week. And I have a little bit of a warning before we continue. This tips and tricks video is not for the artist with a weak stomach or who is faint of heart. This tips and tricks video is a little bit risky, so you should continue watching anyway. But this is something you might want to try just on a painting you don't really like all that much first, and then as you get more experienced with it, then you can do it on paintings that you like a lot more. So there is a little bit of a risk that you might ruin a painting. Or not really ruin it, you can always fix it, but it will change your painting quite a bit. And that's the whole goal, really. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, what if I had a painting that the colors really didn't harmonize well? Like the blue stood out too much and it didn't really tie in with the painting, or maybe your painting's too cool and you want to warm it up a little bit. Or maybe your painting's too warm and you want to cool it down. What I like to do is I will take a painting that looks completed, like this one, and I will do a wash over the entire thing to change the tone of the painting. So if I wanted this to be more tonal, more reddish, I want everything to have a reddish tint to it, but I didn't mix my colors right when I was painting it, and now the blue stands out too much and it doesn't really tie in with the rest of the painting. What can I do to fix it? Well, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up close here and show you how I do a wash over the entire painting, and it will change the entire mood, the feeling of the painting. So I could take this painting and make it more yellow, give everything kind of a yellowish tint, or give everything kind of a reddish tint. But once you do the wash, you have to kind of go back in and work things back up. So what will happen is it will darken everything. So you're going to have to brighten things up a little bit after. But this is a great way to really change the mood of your painting or change the color. Like if you want it to be more warm or be more cool. So like I said, it's something you want to try out on a painting that you don't love first. So in case you kind of mess it up, you won't be too mad at me. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, for my tools, what I'm going to be using is a wash brush or a background brush. It's just got nylon bristles, and I've soaked it in water. So let's see if you can see here. There's some water in the bristles. I'm going to be using transparent red iron oxide, and the thing is you don't always have to use a transparent color. Golden paints are cool because they have these three little stripes up here, and they take a little bit of the paint and paint over it. And what happens is you can see those stripes through the color, and that will tell you how transparent the color is. I'm not sure if the other paints have that or not. I use golden a lot, so it's kind of nice. And I'm going to be doing this in acrylic. If you're going to do this in oil paint, instead of water, you would use walnut oil or linseed oil or some sort of medium to coat the canvas and then do the wash. So I'll talk about that a little bit more here in a minute, but I want to just show you the technique. I'm going to have a misting bottle in a container, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of the red oxide. You can see I put it in the bottom there. Put a little bit more. Okay, so I put some of the red oxide at the bottom. What I'm going to do is take my misting bottle, mist over it, and then take my brush. What we're doing is making a little thin, really thin coat of paint. Just going to add some more water here. So you can see I've got a little pool of it down at the bottom here. And to start out, what I like to do is I mist over the canvas too, and I'm just using water. Just a little bit of water. And then all you do is just take that really thin layer and paint over the entire thing, and all of a sudden it changes kind of the mood, the feeling. It almost makes it like a sepia type photo. But the painting, another thing I have to really stress this, is the painting has to be dry. Don't do this if the painting has any wetness to it at all. You want to make sure it's completely dry before you do a wash like this. But all of a sudden it just warmed up the blue. It kind of warmed up everything. It gave everything kind of a tonal value, which is kind of what I was going for. I wanted that blue to kind of be toned down a little bit, and at the same time I want to tie everything together. So by doing, I did a really, really thin wash. You can let this dry, see what it looks like, and do it 2 or 3 more times. That's why I go really thin to start with, because if you go thick, it's not going to be as transparent and you're going to start blocking things out. So going with a really thin layer to start with is great, and then work it up from there. But you want to keep, after a while, what you can do is wipe your brush off, just wiping it off down below here, and kind of go back and forth and even everything out. You can still see I have a lot of moisture in my brush, so I'm going to try to get a little bit of that out. But then you just brush up and down, side to side, just to get it really even. Then, you might have to work up some colors after it dries. Like I would take a little bit of zinc white, which is another transparent color, and maybe change the value of some of these areas, just brighten them up a little bit. So that covers this week's tips and tricks video to do a wash over your entire painting, to change the tint, to warm it up, cool it down, change the value, maybe soften up everything. It really does a lot of different things. For this one, it changed the blue to a little more grayish, but it still looks blue, but it's a blue that really ties into the painting better now. And everything kind of has a harmony. It kind of looks like it goes together. You can do it to make it look antiqued. You can do it to, like I said, cool down a painting. If I wanted to do the opposite of this, I would take a blue color, thin it out a lot with water, make sure it's really transparent, and then do a wash over it, and it will cool the painting down. So you have a lot of options with this, but it's really important to start out with a painting that you don't love, because I don't really want to get a whole lot of nasty emails that say, "Hey Tim, I tried your technique and I ruined my favorite painting." That'd probably make me sad. So try to start out with something that you don't love first, and then practice a little bit until you're comfortable, and then start working it into the paintings that you really like. Because it's a really neat trick. It's a really, really good technique to really, change the feeling of a painting. And a lot of times people will get to the end of a painting and be like, "Oh, there's something weird about it. Like, I don't like that blue, it doesn't really work." Or, "I don't like that green, it stands out too much, it doesn't really tie into the painting." Well, if you do a wash over the entire painting, everything will tie together. So it's kind of a fix-it-all trick, but it's also a risky one too. So, as always, if you found this tips and tricks video helpful, please feel free to share it with your friends. If you have any questions, you can visit my website at timgagnon.com. I have a lot of online painting lessons. Also, I travel around the country doing workshops in person. So if you want to join a workshop or take an online painting lesson, make sure you head on over to timgagnon.com and check those out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.